Hi there. Professor Conley, Victor Conley. I received an email, and the email asked me for the Wiccans competition. It says, when preparing for a class, what do you do to ensure that the classroom is inclusive, equitable, and fosters a community of learning? Now, the thought behind us making this video was for you to get to know us. And that's what I'm going to try to do in the 3 minutes, and look at these questions and really give you an idea of how I do that. This is my lab. This is where the magic happens. Now, you may or may not know me. I've been around here for a while. I've been doing this for 30 years. And doing this for 30 years, one of the things that does happen is, did you know it takes 10,000 hours to perfect a skill, no matter what the skill is? 30 years ago, I was asked to come to the college. I was working as a manager, shop manager at a GM dealership. And when I was working at that dealership, I was asked to come to the college through connections through General Motors. They wanted me to come to the college and teach. So here I am 30 years later, 4,000 students later. That 10,000 hours works out to be 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 44 weeks a year, for 5.5 years to get and master your craft. When you're in education, it actually takes longer than that. Now, you ask, how do I foster? Well, one of the things I did as a shop manager, and I started off working as a technician in the General Motors dealership, was when I took over, one of the first things I did was take the customer satisfaction index up 50%. And that was actually quite simple to do by kind of what you're describing and what you're looking for in the first place, which is working with customers. My customers now are my apprentices in this class. So knowing your customer and knowing what they want and want to accomplish is actually the secret to doing this. Now, our apprentices here, a lot of them that have come here, they are what we used to call the 4-year program. What we used to call, we're in the tech wing of the school. And there's a lot of misconceptions of what goes on there. In fact, you know, they almost get put down all the time because they're only techs. And in a lot of cases, they've been directed here because their academics are lacking. Now, what we need to do is we need to mentor these students. And that's my job, the same as I did with the people in my shop and the apprentices that I hired, was actually become a mentor. Someone that they can actually look at that has been successful and actually help them get there. A lot of the people in the college don't understand what we do in apprenticeship. We're here for 8 weeks with these students. I have 92 hours. My job is to teach them electrical, teach them physics, teach them electronics, and also my job is to take them through fuel and emissions. The curriculum is jammed for those 92 hours. In most post-secondary courses, that would be a 2-year course, what we accomplish in 8 weeks with these students. So you really need to inspire them to do what we have here, because this is the way that it really should be looked at now. A friend of mine, Mike Rowe, in the US, and you may have heard of him, he works in in television, and he was actually a mentor for the trades in the US now. He worked on a show called Dirty Jobs. So one of the things he's done as being a mentor and a hero and a champion for the trades is actually, he takes this poster, and you can look it up on the internet. It's called Work Smart, Not Hard, because back in '77, this poster was hanging in his guidance counselor's office, and he thought quite possibly it was the worst advice that he had ever seen. He hated it so much that he changed it. So he took the Work Smart, Not Hard, and changed it to Work Smart and Hard. This is what we need. This is what we need. You need to work hard. You need to work smart. Now, I mentioned mentors that set the environment in the classroom, set the learning conditions in the classroom. 1977 was my first graduation from this college, and I'm going to show you a couple of people there on the end. These two gentlemen, Mr. Nick Hogan and George, and I wish I could remember his name, being my engine teacher in diesel. These two gentlemen, they kind of were my mentors, and they actually came along, and what they did was they actually set the pace on how to conduct myself with people. Now, I've always been told that I actually have a way with people. I've been told dealing with my customers enjoyed working with me. The people that worked with me in the shop, they enjoyed working with me. And it was easy for me in that sense. And a lot of my students, and there's been 4,000 of them over the last 30 years, immensely enjoy my class. One of the main reasons is because right from the get-go, we focus in on what they want to accomplish. And that's what it comes down to. What do you want to accomplish? The sacrifices that these apprentices are making is they're giving up their income for 8 weeks. And when they give up that income, they're not making money. So they're actually taking on debt that they may or may not be able to pay back. No, they will be able to pay back by taking the knowledge and going further. They will become trade people by setting a positive example for them on a professional level of what a tradesperson is, and not just teaching the curriculum, but teaching them to learn how, and explaining this, really getting them focused in on why they're here in the first place. Why would they sacrifice 8 weeks' pay to be here? Because they know there's a payoff at the end. Unfortunately, as I said, in a lot of cases, they're not coming prepared to us into these classes, but they do have something that somebody's seen being in their employer that they've recognized that there is something worth developing there. And letting them know that, in some cases, they've never heard that. But why you get employed is because, as an apprentice, as someone to learn a trade, is that you're going to actually, in life, do better. Somebody's seen that special thing that they want to help you develop. We as teachers have no better job in the world, and it's the same as an employer hiring an apprentice, than actually being able to help people better themselves. Now, for the employer, it's self-serving in that if they help develop their employees, what happens is their profit margins will go up because they'll be able to have skilled labor making money for them in the shop. So setting the tone right from the bottom or the beginning of the class, really what it does for us is it actually lets them know that we're here, and the only reason that we're here as educators is to help them succeed at this, how to learn this. And that's above and beyond the paycheck for me, that I actually get to help these people. I have, I believe there's 6 or 7 students, ex-students of mine, teaching here at Centennial College. I have other students that are out there that are working in secondary schools. That's absolutely wonderful for me. And a phenomenon that's now happening is those students that are teaching here, what I'm seeing is, I'm seeing now that their students have started, some of them teaching here, almost like saying they're my grandchildren. So I have my children and my grandchildren that I do mentor still, just like I mentor my students. I'm here for them. What it means is I'm their cheerleader. That's how you set a classroom up. They know what their job is. They know what the benefits of the job is. Now, we do have an advantage. When they come here to us, they're representing the companies that they work for. They're coming as an employee for training. So they know that they're still accountable to their employer, that they are not going to come here and embarrass their employer, that they will actually come in here for the right reasons. And they can see at the end. Now, the payoff to them is immense. I'm here as their cheerleader. They know I'm here as their cheerleader. I open this classroom up at lunchtime. I open it up in the morning. I'm here. I'm out and about. I let them know that even in the college, that even though they're not part of the Students Association, that what the facilities are. I take them to the library. I tell them about the alumni. I'm an alumnus. I've worked with the board of directors. I've helped sign checks to better the college in the way of our library, a $2 million check that came to the college from the alumni. I was on that group, and we did it because we want to help the students that are coming through here, because they are the future of this country. So if you treat people with dignity, the way that you want to be treated, the way I wanted to be treated when I was a student here, and you set up that atmosphere where not, you're just going to get by, we're going to give you marks, you'll make a good mechanic. No, letting them know and giving them tools that they can actually become a good technician out there and a good contributor. Even though people will still look down on them, we as faculty in this department, we're skilled tradespeople. We're licensed people. We have skills that a lot of people in the college do not have, but we still have to have the skills that the people in the college in the academic part do, in that when you come here, you have to start a new trade. That trade is actually teaching. So the first day when you come here as a teacher, it's horrible because you usually tell them everything you know within 2 hours. And once you learn that there's more to this job, just like as an apprentice learning how to fix cars or trucks, the bottom line is you're learning new skills. The students that come into my class have incredible amount of skills that they need to learn. So I'm going to end this off, and I'm going to hope you remember this, that if we can be focused on why they're sacrificing to come here and understand it's to better themselves, we can be part of that. A skill itself, we rely on us, we rely on the employers to work together to make a technician. So I want you to think, even as an educator, we had to learn. It's a new craft. It takes hands-on learning. It's not something you can learn in the classroom. You can learn how to learn in the classroom, but the actual learning takes place once you get into the classroom, and it takes years to craft your skill. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm looking very forward to seeing each and every one on the committee again this year. And hopefully you have a bit better understanding of what we do here with apprentices. It's a little bit different than dealing with post-secondary students. It's got some advantages, but again, in a lot of cases, a lot of people are being pushed into the trades because they're telling people, well, they must be good with their hands. Our trade hasn't been that way since the early 70s. You have to be good with your hands, you have to be good academically, and putting that together, you become a problem solver. So I'm looking forward to seeing you later this year, and hopefully we can sit and have a wonderful conversation. I want you to remember one thing though. Ashtonby, okay, as we say at Ashtonby, everybody belongs here, and you know what? Come on down. I'll buy you a coffee. I'll take you around. I'll introduce you to the people here and the students. You'll be amazed at what you see. Thanks, and talk to you soon.